House Ag Committee had an additional, for discussion only, hearing on the Farm Act this week or last week, depending on when you're watching this. In this particular committee, they brought in speakers to talk about some of the, to address the questions that were brought up in the first hearing. So groups like Farm Bureau, the Port Council, Department of Ag, and Smithfield came to specifically address questions related to the sections of the Farm Act related to the general permits for the swine waste digesters. Most of the discussion there was what the requiring general permits, what was the difference between a general permit and an individual permit, and why there were no limits on regulations. It was still the same regulation. It was just a different administrative process, a simpler administrative process for the farmers using general permits versus issuing individual permits. The public still has the same amount of public input into that process. So that was a lot of the discussion was about that. We testified a little bit about some of the other provisions that were in the Farm Act, just to give our general support to the bill as a whole, and not just some of these specific provisions. But right now it looks like there will likely be a vote in the House Ag Committee on the Farm Act this week, likely on Wednesday. This week, the North Carolina Senate is expected to release their proposed budget for the biennium, for the 2021 to 2023 two-year budget. You remember we talked that they have finally reached an agreement between the Senate and the House on how much spending they're actually going to do in that budget. Well, the Senate now is going to release their proposed budget. So it'll come out on Monday, and if all goes to plan, they'll likely pass it through their chamber by the end of the week. And so then that'll pass the bill over to the House. They'll then propose their version. Then they'll come together for a conference committee. And then maybe by the end of July into early August, we'll probably maybe have an agreement on a full budget. But just so you know, we're starting to move forward on that budget process.